At their home. Well, I'm currently in the state of Florida. I'm on vacation, but this individual, Spencer, works with me, and he did not show up to work this morning, and we cannot get a hold of him or his family.
He didn't show up to work?
Correct.
Okay. Does he have medical problems or?
No, and he's been reliable, and we cannot get in touch with him, his wife, his family, anybody that lives in that house.
Okay. So
There's
you're
two
in
kids in the
Florida.
home. I'm in Florida. I own the business. I was informed by my employees that he was not at work, and he runs the office.
Did you receive information that he may have been involved in an accident or?
No, ma'am. I just know that he is he is always on time, and he would contact us if there was any issues whatsoever. And I just don't know how else to say this. We're very, very concerned because this is very out of character. And we can't get in touch with his wife, which is probably the more concerning thing.
Okay. We will send somebody over as soon as we have an officer available, okay?
Okay. Thank you very much.
All right. So that was the first call to the police department was from his boss, who was in Florida at the time, he said. So this is the first call. Now let's continue because there's going to be a whole bunch of calls. So let's listen.
Okay.
Our boss did not report to work. We haven't been able to get a hold of him for 3 hours. We are on site and we can hear.
Okay, I just talked to somebody there.
Okay, I'm just making sure somebody called.
Yeah, I just got a call from somebody and set it back up for
Okay.
dispatch.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Here's another call. She says it's been 3 hours since they talked to him. What? Whoa. Let's back that up a little bit.
For 3 hours. We are on site.
We're very, very concerned because this is very out of character. And we can't get in touch with his wife, which is probably the more concerning thing.
Okay. We will send somebody over as soon as we have an officer available, okay?
Okay. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Our boss did not report to work. We haven't been able to get a hold of him for 3 hours. We are on site and we can hear.
Okay, I just talked to somebody there.
All right. The second call says our boss is not at work. It's been 3 hours since we talked to him. What? Let's play that again.
Did you receive information that he may have been involved in an accident or?
No, ma'am. I just know that he is he is always on time, and he would contact us if there was any issues whatsoever. And I just don't know how else to say this. Like, we're very, very concerned because this is very out of character. And we can't get in touch with his wife, which is probably the more concerning thing.
Okay, we will send somebody over as soon as we have an officer available, okay?
Okay, thank you very much.
Uh-huh.
Bye-bye.
Our boss did not report to work. We haven't been able to get a hold of him for 3 hours. We are on site and we can hear.
Okay, I just talked to somebody there.
Okay, she says they for 3 hours they've been trying to get a hold of him. They can't get a hold of him. All right. The dispatch says we just sent somebody out there or had another call or whatever. And she says, okay, well, she explains it was, it's been 3 hours.
Okay, I'm just making sure somebody called.
Yeah, I just got a call from somebody and sent it back up for dispatch.
Okay.
Are you there because you're not showing that you're at the
No,
location?
I'm en route there.
Okay. So dispatch asked that lady, are you there? Because it's not showing that you're at that location. Right? Because that's how that's how fast it is. They probably would, your call. Are you at that location? Because it's not showing that you're there. And then the lady says, "No, I'm en route."
(911) What's the location of your emergency? Okay, what's the emergency there? Police or medical?
Maybe both, I guess. I don't know. I'm kind of doing the
wellness. We had a call out there. They knocked on the front door and back door multiple times, and there was no answer.
Yeah, no answer. I can hear kids inside, and I swear I think I heard one yell, but we can't get in. At this point, I don't know if I need to break the door in or just get in the house or what. So.
Okay, where's it?
All right, so this might be a different dispatcher, right? They might be diverting these calls to different dispatchers or whatever. So this dispatcher might not even know that the first dispatcher sent the officers to the wrong address. But it's showing that somebody showed up at an address, but they got the address wrong. So that's where the confusion starts coming in, because it might have been a different dispatcher that got it and said, well, we already sent somebody out there. But in reality, there's never been any police there. They were sent to a wrong address. So I can see how these dispatchers might be getting upset because they keep calling. Let's move on to the next caller.
Were you out there when the police was out there?
I wasn't. I just got here about 5 minutes ago.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll send them back out to you.
Okay. Thanks.
Bye. We've got several calls on that. What's changed since the last person I talked to?
There's a body.
There's a body inside?
Yeah.
Okay. Hold on one second.
All right. This is key too, because that's the same guy that just called. He calls back again. So we know this much. He got in that house somehow before police showed up there. He made entry into that house somehow before police showed up there. Whether he broke into it or he had a key or a code or whatever, he's in the house before police show up. And he calls and said there's a body in the house.
Okay. Let me get you on the line with the medic, okay? Stay on the line.
All right. What's going on there?
There's a body. Our friend wasn't answering his phone. We just did a wellness check. We just can't hear him. He appears dead. There's blood. He's laying next to his bed, off of his bed, and there's blood. I can't get closer to see more than that.
Okay, so you can tell he's obviously not breathing or anything.
Yeah.
Is it like kind of like cuddle, like, you know, does he look like?
It doesn't cuddle. I can't look.
Okay, all right, understand. Okay, and then when was the last time somebody spoke to him?
Yesterday, I suppose.
Yesterday. Okay.
Yeah.
How old is he?
37.
37. Okay. Is he like a drug user or anything like that?
No.
Okay. All right. Just because that's a really young age.
Yeah, I understand.
Okay. All right. We're on our way.
You can just imagine what this has been like for the families of the victims of Spencer and Monique, especially since there are these young kids that are now
progressing through this. But you know, it's evidence nonetheless that hasn't been released until now, and it's good that they're kind of progressing through this.
And this is right between 2 a.m. and 5 a.m., which is the window they say they believe the shootings happened. Rob, do you or your family members have any idea who might have been capable of doing this? Did your family have any enemies? Did Spencer and Monique have any enemies at all that are known?
Not that I can speak on or know of. I know that they've had this massive community around him that they were just so well liked and admired by everyone. You can see in this picture that's kind of defines them. They were always smiling. They were always laughing. So it's really just unbelievable and shocking to all of us when we found out. I still, a week later, still doesn't feel real. I can't believe I'm like here talking about this. So,
I mean, it doesn't make any sense at all.
You know, this guy is giving off vibes. You know, I know he's a family member, but something fishy is about this. This just happened. And this guy's all over YouTube already. Don't you think the police would say, well, it's a murder case. Keep your mouth quiet. Don't talk about it at all, yada, yada. But we ain't seeing that, folks. I know he wants to find the killer, but you would think that if this was an open case of murder and yada, they were investigating it, they would have told the family, don't talk to nobody. Don't go on social media. Don't do nothing. But they ain't. Maybe they already know. And that's why they let him up on talking. Well, that's a theory. You know, that's a theory. Speculation, if you call it that. Little bit too soon, for people to be, I don't know. Well, anyone with their common sense would probably listen, the police saying, don't talk about it because it could be anybody, you don't want to give away anything that you're even related to these people, because if it's some kind of a vendetta or something like that, you could put yourself at risk or your family at risk. So it's very shocking, but social media, a lot of people turn to social media to get their story out and find killers. So we're danged if we do, we're danged if we don't. I find it very interesting, though. Plus, this guy blinks a lot. He looks away from the camera when he's talking. I don't know. I know he just lost a family member, someone within his family, but I don't know. It's kind of weird.
What do you know about the little kids? Spencer and Mo had two little ones. I mean, I think one is 1 year old, the other one is 4. Do you have any idea what they saw, what they experienced in that home?
We do not. I know, they have met with some people to talk. It sounds like I can't really talk on any evidence, but we've had them with us for the past couple of days. They're with some other relatives at the moment, and they were just as happy and unfortunately unaware as they ever could be. But they're in loving hands, and even more people are coming by their side.
So again, just tragic for this family. I'll continue to stay on this. Hopefully there'll be some development soon. Because again, it's kind of just felt like it's been at a dead end for the last week and a half or so. I hope.
Well, you know what? All I can say is some of the dispatch stuff, I can see how it got confused. If the one dispatcher didn't realize that the police were sent on the wrong address. I would imagine this is how it goes. A dispatcher will get so many calls, whether she gets mad or whatever, she'll redirect them calls to another dispatch person, right? So if the first dispatch person gets the first call, they send them out to the wrong address. The police report back, we were at that address, knocked on the door, there's no answer, but it's actually the wrong address. And the one dispatcher keeps getting calls and getting upset saying, hey, we already sent someone out there, quit calling or whatever, and she gets so upset, she tells another dispatch, here, take this, and she's on another call, or she'll, because she might have got upset. Maybe a lot of people are saying, well, her voice sounds like she's upset or really don't care or is like playing dumb or something. I don't know. Maybe. Very interesting though. So I can see how there was a confusion there because another dispatcher might have picked up the line going and seeing that, hey, the call was answered. No one answered the door. Officers were there, but actually it's the wrong address. And the second dispatcher might have picked it up and seen, oh, well, that's the police went to the wrong address. We're sending them back out to where you're at. But here's the thing, before the police even get there, one of these people get into the house and find the body. So either someone showed up there with a key or they broke the door in. One of the two. But they're there in the house, in the bedroom, and they see a body before police are there. And how do we know that? Well, we would hear radios in the background. Well, heck, we would hear on dispatch that the police responded and called, but we're not. We're hearing one guy saying, we're in the house and there's bodies. So that's interesting. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I just wanted to get that also out on this case. Folks, make sure you go check out Mr. Brian Etton's channel. Great channel. I sub to it myself. I'm checking to see if we got anything else. Oh, no. Well, this was 2 hours ago. They're saying execution. Spencer and Monique. TP. 6 steps investigation. Wow. Yeah, it's just getting crazy. Well, this case ain't but a week and a half, 2 weeks.
it really matters because this case could be a targeted attack. So if you have somebody that's very predictable like that, it's much easier to target them because they're predictable as far as where they are in a particular day or a particular frame of period of time. So we know at this particular time he would have been at work. He wasn't at work. And when they get over there to do the welfare check, there's several people that show up and they all kind of knock on the door and there's no answer to the door. They can't get a hold of his wife. They can't get a hold of her, Spencer. And I saw in one of the reports that the dentist that works with Spencer reported that not being able to get a hold of Monique was more upsetting to him, more concerning to him.
And we can't get in touch with his wife, which is probably the more concerning thing.
It speaks to her victimology as far as who she is and what's normal for her. Here they are now brutally murdered in their home. Their children have survived. The window, according to the police, is 2 a.m. to 5 a.m., somewhere in that period of time. And for somebody to visit their home at that time, it's planned, it's deliberate. This person could have felt confident about the access they had to the home. There's some level of familiarity with either the neighborhood or the home itself. Have survived. The window, according to the police, is 2 a.m. to 5 a.m., somewhere in that period of time. And for somebody to visit their home at that time, it's planned, it's deliberate. This person could have felt confident about the access they had to the home.
All right. Now, that's a ringtone cam, and that is a keypad, deadbolt keypad. The bottom lock also is just a regular key, but that top deadbolt is a keypad bolt action. So the front door was covered. If this guy came in through the front door, they know exactly who he is or what happened. They have a description of very well what happened. Now, hopefully they had a front porch light on. All right. So if what's worse, the worst that he comes in through the back alley. It looked like they had a camera also on the back of the house. I'm not sure. It looked like it. But the back of the house might have had a keypad on it too. If not, I don't know. Then he could have got in and depending on what kind of security system they had, we'll find out. So that's the front of the house. We know there was a ringtone. So here's the thing. If someone came up on that porch, it automatically their phones go off. Someone's at your front porch. It alarms your phones. So they can actually see what's going on. Even if they have them on sensors in the backyard and something moves, that camera activates and it lets them know. That's you have movement in your backyard. It triggers your camera. So either way, they knew. So that's a key thing here too, because that app alerts you. I know people that have that. And if you even, it films everything. Everything. But when someone comes up onto the property, it'll alert you someone's there. So that should play a key. Now, hopefully they had something in the backyard, but it looks like they did.
There's some level of familiarity with either the neighborhood or the home itself. with the people, knowing they're going to be there at that hour. Because like you said, they've got little kids. They're typically home. So we always start with the demographics. You know, who are they at that time? It's they're going to be there at
All right, let's look at the French doors that are in front of the house, which is very beautiful. It's got a deadbolt on it and a doorknob on it, which appears probably as a key. So it's got a deadbolt that appears to be a deadbolt and also a door handle on it like a key. But these things are useless if you don't use them. If you don't lock them, they're useless. You're you're giving the bad guy 90% of the job done.
that hour. Because like you said, they've got little kids. They're typically home. So we always start with the demographics. You know, who are they? They are 37 to 39 years old. They live in an affluent neighborhood. I saw their house, you know, look like a kind of modern, almost like a townhouse, very narrow, but you know, very kind of long looking. Has a garage in the back. It's got a balcony on the front, plus a front door. The yard was fenced in, and it was a privacy fence, not like a regular other kind of fence. That's important. And they were clearly, as you said, they've got little kids. They're typically home. So we always start with the demographics. You know, who are they? They are 37 to 39 years old. Front plus a front door. The yard was fenced in, and it was a privacy fence.
All right, there is the back door. And what is on the back door? A keypad. There's a keypad on the back door also. When what appears to look like what is on the front of the house is on the back of the house door. So he's got both points covered. Now, whether that keypad also is a camera, I don't know. Technology has come so far. It's possible. It's possible. But I do believe I see a camera up on the gutter. I could be wrong. But no matter what, to get into that house, they've had to either leave a door open or someone knew the code or they were familiar with the person that came there.
It's not like a regular other kind of fence. That's important. And they were clearly at home at night, and their children were also home. I believe their children are 1 and 4 years old. So we start with those kind of things. Then we start taking a deep dive into, let's look at their physical aspects of their life. Do they have shelter, food, water, air? Yes, those all check off. Next, we look at safety and security. Were they concerned about their personal safety? We asked that question. That's step 2 of the victimology process. We start looking at, did they feel safe in their home? Did they feel safe in their car? Did they feel safe when they were out in public? Feel safe in their occupations physically? Then we look at their safety as far as like financial. We look at all of their victimology from the standpoint of, you know, were there any areas where they didn't feel secure in any aspect of their work, their finances, their personal relationships, things like that. Then we move to step 3, which is called love and belonging. That's where you usually figure out what the motive is. And love and belonging is going to deal with all their relationships in their lives. Let's look at their relationship first. You know, the Teppies themselves, the Monique Spencer relationship. Then we're going to look at each one of their relationships with their immediate.
That face looks familiar. Did that guy used to do commercials? He was a dentist. Maybe they had commercials or something. He looked, that face looks familiar. Maybe from social media or something. I don't know. You know, it's funny that he mentions in the one video that she put up with his crazy friends. So maybe I don't know. This is pretty weird if you ask me. And she was 2 years older than him.
Immediate family, extended family, friends, co-workers, acquaintances, people at Starbucks, people at the gym, people at the gas station, people in their neighborhood, their neighbors. We're going to start doing these concentric zones, and we're going to build out on every single person. And we actually do it like a spiral. And so like we start at the top and we spiral all the way down like this funnel. So we start like, okay, who are all the people that are in the world, and we come down to, one person. So in this case, you're going to look at patients, you're going to look at coworkers, and especially patients, especially coworkers, people like that, because when you have a case like the Superbike murders in South Carolina, I said for the entire time, the entire time for more than 10 years, I said it's an anger-based homicide. It's an anger retaliatory homicide. And I'll bet you the person that killed them is on the client list of that bike shop. And that's exactly what happened. He was
So I
mad.
called it.
Yeah. I mean, he was mad because he couldn't be part of their group. And is there a disgruntled patient? Is there a patient who was caused some kind of harm?
Well, she's right. You have to look at the client list of this guy. No, the parents, maybe if the kids or something, maybe someone thought they got ripped off, maybe a surgery went bad, yada, yada, yada. Yeah, that's just another thing to throw into the whole mess of who did what. And, but she's telling the truth. A client list, possibly, jealous worker's husband. Maybe he was cheating. Yeah, I hate to say it. I'm trying to get out of this crime sector. It'll drive you nuts. Up all night thinking, what the heck happened? How could it? Who was this? Why didn't they do that? Good God Almighty. So this guy killed somebody, and it was a client of the bike club that he worked at or whatever. And the guy was killed because he couldn't be a part of their bike club or whatever.
Something like that. And so you're going to look at relationships right there. Once you start looking at the relationships, you can identify potential conflict within the realm and the world of Spencer or Monique Tepe. And yeah, that's usually where the case will solve right there. So you're literally, not even 48 hours in. And because we recommend, victimology, full victimology should be finished on these victims within 48 hours. And that's a long time. We say 48,
You know what I'm thinking? Was this professional? And the professional hit guy got the address wrong and has been banging on doors around there. Do you remember the police call from the neighbor saying that at 2:00, 2:30 in the morning, someone was banging on their door? So, and this was days before. I don't know. It's possible. Maybe the hit guy got the wrong house. Well, maybe. If the police were sent to the wrong address in the first place, is it possible the person that wanted them dead gave them the wrong address and they were banging on the door of someone else? It's possible. Hello, Miss Debbie Fox. I sent you a message. Oh, I was so mad at YouTube. All right, so we are going to end this, and we'll be looking for more information as it unfolds. We're waiting for the police video to be released, the camera that was in the area, and any other ringtones that are picking up gunshots. But there you seen it, folks. The front door had a ringtone on it with a keypad. And I do believe there was a camera in the backyard. Also, a keypad to get in the house. 2 locks on the front door, 2 locks on the back door. So, unless they left something open, someone had to know the key to that code. And entered the house like nothing ever happened. Yeah, it's very possible. I'm not going to say it's impossible. There ain't nothing impossible anymore. World's gone crazy. I wish it was a movie, but this stuff is real. Well, you can sleep good at night knowing this channel ain't crazy. You can only be crazy in movies. In real life, reality, you'll spend the rest of your life locked up in prison or get killed trying to break into how to do something. You got to be crazy, crazy, crazy to do this, if not in self-defense. But just to do this, you got to be, there's crazy, and then there's crazy, crazy, and then there's, you're just a sick nut job, serial madman crazy. And that's what we're looking at. All right, ladies and gentlemen, have a great night. Remember, lock your doors. Sometimes that don't even help. Lock your windows. Sometimes that don't help. Turn your alarm systems on, and even sometimes that don't help. We got to attack the problem a different way, and maybe more of giving up some freedoms for safety and lives. Maybe. You folks have a great night. God bless. I'll be back.